I don't know if everyone's seen the title of today's lesson. It's the Four Horsemen. The title of today's lesson is the Four Horsemen. Now, we went over the Four Horsemen when we did the Revelation series, but we didn't focus on the Four Horsemen. We just focused on the chapter 6 in Revelations. But now we want to focus primarily on the Four Horsemen. So we'll be going over that today. Who are they? What are they? What spirit are they coming in? Different things like that. So first, the first seal or spirit is called the White Horse. And this white horse is a conquering king. The second seal or spirit was the mark of war. The third seal or spirit is an impending famine. And the fourth seal or spirit identifies the bringer of death. So it's important to know that all of these spirits and the opening of the seals come from the Father. He is in total control, and he's in complete control of these spirits. And all wickedness that proceed from these spirits or the opening of these seals come from him. We need to understand that. We need to understand that is that if there's evil in the city, he's the one that did it. He controls it. There is no power above him. No power. He controls all power. All powers in heaven, all powers in earth, whether it be good or whether it be evil. He controls it. All right, let's go to Daniel. Let's go to Daniel, the 12th chapter of Daniel. I want verses 9 and 13, but I'll start at 9 and we'll jump to 13.
Daniel 1:9? Daniel 1 and 9?
Daniel 12 and 9.
Daniel 12 and 9.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel 12, verse 9. And he said, "Go thy way, Daniel, for the word are closed up and sealed to the time of the end."
So this great tribulation that the Bible speaks of that was told to of Daniel, and I won't go into his vision, but this great tribulation was sealed up into the time of the end, meaning no one has the authority to unseal it or to seal it, but the Most High. He had laid it up for a specific time, and he laid it up for a particular purpose. Drop down to verse 13.
But go thou thy way till the end be, for thou shalt rest and stand in thy lot at the end of the days.
So after he showed Daniel this vision and these dreams, he says, "Go thy way till the end be, for thou shalt rest," meaning you going to sleep in your grave, and stand in your lot at the end of days, meaning you're going to regenerate on the earth. And at the time when you come back on the earth, you're going to witness some of these events. You're going to stand in your lot. You're going to see some of these events of what I'm showing you now, meaning Daniel will be back on earth at the time of the opening of these seals, or the time, or at different points when as the horsemen are released or unsealed, right? So to understand this prophecy, we got to first go, before we go to Revelation 6, we got to go to Zechariah 6. So to understand this prophecy further, we have to go to Zechariah 6. We're going to read 1 through 5 of Zechariah, because Revelation 6 and Zechariah 6 is primarily talking about the same thing but it's in a different order. But basically speaking on the same thing.
Zechariah 6, 1 through 5. And I turned and lifted up mine eyes, and I looked, and behold, there came 4 chariots out from between 2 mountains, and the mountains were mountains of brass.
So read that first verse again.
And I turned and I lifted up mine eyes, and I looked, and behold, there came 4 chariots out from between 2 mountains, and the mountains were mountains of brass.
And the mountains were mountains of brass. So these 4 chariots, Zechariah is calling them, are chariots, which we would call UFOs or unidentified flying objects or something like that, or spirits, the Bible calls them. That's why you heard me go between spirits and seals, or seals, chariots, seals, spirits, beast, or angels, all used interchangeably, or horsemen, all used interchangeably to describe the same thing. But you have to understand the difference when you're reading, to read in context, to understand what the scripture is actually saying. Let's read it again, verse 1. Zechariah 6 and 1.
Zechariah 6, verse 1. And I turned and lifted up mine eyes, and looked, and behold, there came 4 chariots out from between 2 mountains, and the mountains were mountains of brass.
All right, let's get Deuteronomy 27. Let's figure out what these mountains are. You're seeing 4 chariots coming in between 2 mountains. Let's go to Deuteronomy 27 and 12 to find out what these mountains are.
Deuteronomy 27, verse 12. These shall stand upon Mount Gerizim to bless the people when ye are come over Jordan, Simeon and Levi and Judah and Issachar and Joseph and Benjamin.
Now they're out of order, but these are the children of Israel. This is one mountain. Verse 13.
And these shall stand upon Mount Ebal to curse Reuben, Gad, and Asher, and Zebulun, Dan, and Naphtali.
These are the children of the 12 tribes of Israel is being described as 2 mountains, 2 kingdoms, 2 powers, 2 authorities, 2 governments. Southern kingdom, northern kingdom, although they're not in order. For southern kingdom, northern kingdom, kingdom of light. Verse 14, ended off at verse 14.
And the Levites shall speak and say unto all the men of Israel with a loud voice.
So we know that these 2 mountains is talking about all the men of Israel. All the men of Israel. Let's go back to Zechariah. These 4 chariots were primarily to afflict the 2 mountains of Israel, or the 2 mountains of brass, it says in Zechariah.
Zechariah 6 and 1.
Yes.
And I turned and I lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, there came 4 chariots out from between 2 mountains, and the mountains were mountains of brass.
So these 2 mountains, these 2 chariots are coming in between to conquer or to afflict are the children of Israel. Are the children of Israel. Zechariah 2 and 6.
Zechariah 2, verse 6. Ho, ho, come forth and flee from the land.
I'm sorry, D. I read it, I said it backwards. I meant Zechariah 6 and 2.
I thought you did, but
yeah. Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Zechariah 6 and 2. Zechariah 6, verse 2. In the first chariot were red horses, in the second chariot, black horses.
Come on.
In the third chariot, white horses, and in the fourth chariot, grizzled and bay horses.
And bay horses. Come on.
Then I answered and said unto the angel that talked with me, what are these, my master? And
Uh-huh.
the angel answered and said unto me, these are the four spirits of the heavens, which go forth from standing before the Most High of all the earth.
So now in the beginning, you understand why I called the four horsemen four spirits or four seals. Because in one part of the Bible, they're called seals. Another part of the Bible, they're called horsemen. Another part of this part of the Bible, they're called spirits and chariots. So these four chariots are also called the four seals or the four horsemen. So let's go to Revelation 6 now. They won't be in the same order, but the description, however, is the same. And I'm moving slow like this on purpose because I don't want anyone to be confused on what I'm saying.
Revelation 6:1.
Revelation 6:1. Yes, sir.
Revelation 6, verse 1. And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard, as it was the noise of thunder, one of the four beasts saying, come and see.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw, and behold, a white horse.
Come on.
And he that sat on him had a bow.
He that sat on the white horse had a bow. Understand that the bow is a weapon of war. The bow is a weapon of war. Come on.
And a crown was given unto him. And he went forth conquering and to conquer.
He went forth conquering and to conquer. The Spanish word, what is the Spanish word for conqueror? Anyone know? Anybody knows? The thumbs is working. Y'all trying to look it up on Google. What's the Spanish word for conqueror?
Conquistador.
Conquistador. Conquistador. That is the Spanish word. That is the Spanish word for conqueror. The scripture here tells us, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. And to conquer. All right, let's get Habakkuk right quick. We're going to come back to Revelations. Let's get Habakkuk 1 and 7. Because this conqueror wears a crown and he conquers many kingdoms. Habakkuk 1 and 7.
Habakkuk 1, verse 7. They are terrible and dreadful. Their judgment and their dignity shall proceed of themselves.
Read on. We're going to verse 11. We're going to verse 11.
Their horses also are swifter than the leopard, and are more fierce than the evening wolves. And their horsemen shall spread themselves, and their horsemen shall come from afar. They shall fly as the eagle that hasteth to eat.
They shall fly as the eagle that hastened to eat. Everywhere that Esau went, he left his signia there, which was the eagle. Verse 9.
They shall come off for violence. Their faces shall sup up as the east wind.
Because they come from the east side of the world. Read on.
As they shall gather the captivity as the saints. And they shall scoff at the kings, and the princes shall be a scorn unto them. They shall deride every stronghold, for they shall heap dust and take it.
Come on.
Then shall his mind change, and he shall pass over and offend, imputing this his power unto his God.
So after he heap up the strongholds as dust and take their land, they're going to change their mind. They're going to seemingly change their mind. They're going to come in with a strong hand, conquer many lands and peoples, heap them up as dust, and then the scripture says they will seemingly change their mind. What do you think that means when it says that they would change their mind? Did they change who they were? Did this leopard change their stripes? Anybody think they know what it means? The scripture means that they should change their mind?
Yeah, it's going to put a spell upon them, I guess. Yeah, it's going to change their mind.
Yeah, it's going to change their mind. Anybody else?
I'm sorry, can we read it one more time?
Then shall his mind change, and he shall pass over and offend, imputing this his power unto his God.
Are you talking about the spirit's changing? The spirit of the mind is changing?
Now remember, think about it in verse, what was that? Verse 10, it says that they was going to scoff at kings and princes and shall scorn them. They shall deride every stronghold, for they shall heap dust and take it. What are they taking?
The land?
They're taking the land.
Mm-hmm.
Now why does the next verse says, and they're gonna change their mind?
Oh, give the land back.
Give the land back?
Yeah.
Let's see here. Let's read it one more time, verse 11. Then shall his mind change, and he shall pass over and offend, imputing this his power unto his God, and to his God, and to his God, meaning he's going to give them Christianity after he take them over. So he's going to come saying, now he's going to come say, he came as a warrior, but now he's coming talking about peace.
Okay.
Someone says changing strategy. So first he came as a conquering warrior. Now he's coming talking about, come on and take peace. Come to Sunday school. Come on in here to Sunday school. Jesus is love. After he done took and destroyed everything.
Yeah, coming and killing
you
them.
Understand?
War, and then indoctrinate them with their beliefs, but calling it under the guise of his peace and righteousness.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Come on into this Christianity after I came in and destroyed you. I came in, took your land. I came in, took your kings as prisoners, came in, destroyed the people, came in, collectively collected the captivity up, and now seemingly I changed my mind. I come giving peace. The man that will go forth conquering, the scripture says, is a conqueror. The Spanish word for conqueror is conquistador. Men like Amerigo Vespucci, Christopher Columbus, and others were conquerors that came in. This is the spirit of the white horse. This is the spirit of the white horse. I got a video. If my video guy would share the screen and share the video. I'm not sure if he's loading, if he's pulling it up or not. We don't see it though.
Christopher Columbus accidentally stumbled across the West Indies.
Oh yeah, we do.
In 1492. Spain was among the first countries to explore and conquer this new world that would become known as the Americas. The powerful Ottoman Empire had long been inhibiting European trade routes to the east by charging high taxes, so the Spanish crown funded Columbus to seek new trade routes. When he landed in what is now known as the Bahamas, he initially thought it was India. He explored the islands looking for wealth and initially established a friendly rapport with the indigenous populations, although he also considered that they would make good slaves and should be converted to Christianity. Columbus returned to Spain to report his findings before making 3 more expeditions to the New World, now known to be different from India as it had been identified first by Italian navigator Amerigo Vespucci, who also gave his name to the continent. Columbus was made Viceroy of the Indies, but was later removed from this post due to his poor management. Nonetheless, his expeditions carved the way of Spanish exploration. The first Spanish settlements were in the Caribbean, and in 1508 they extended onto the mainland, settling at Darien on the Isthmus of Panama in Central America. From here, a number of conquistadors launched multiple expeditions to discover and ultimately conquer much of South Central America under the crown of Castile. Vasco Núñez de Balboa established the first stable Spanish settlement on the American mainland, Santa Maria la Antigua del Darien, in Colombia in 1523, and led the infamous Pacific March when he crossed the isthmus to become the first European to reach the Pacific Ocean from the New World. Meanwhile, reports of wealth led the conquistador Hernán Cortés to what is now known as Mexico, where he conquered the local Aztec population. The Aztecs were a highly advanced Mesoamerican different ethnic groups and city-states. However, the Spanish had advantage in weaponry and also brought with them smallpox, which the Aztecs lacked immunity for and so decimated their population. After a 30-day siege of the Aztec capital Tenochtitlan, Spanish forces gained control and built the new settlement of Mexico on the ruin. Another indigenous South American empire that fell to the Spanish was that of the Incas in the mountains of Peru, which had an elaborate government and agricultural system. However, when the Spanish arrived, it was in the midst of a civil war, enabling them to seize despite being outnumbered. The conquistador Francisco Pizarro tricked their ruler Atahualpa into attending an honorary dinner where his men opened fire on the unarmed Incas. Atahualpa was captured and granted eventual killed. Despite ongoing Inca resistance, this marked the beginning of Spanish.
All right, that was the I was trying to get the videos in as much as I could. I see we was having a little bit of problem playing the video, but that's okay. You all got the understanding of what the conquistadors did and the atrocities that they did on this side of the world. That is the first seal. That is the first, or the spirit or chariot that put the children of Israel in distress. All right, let's move on to the second seal. Let's go to Revelation 6:3.
Revelation 6, verse 3. And when he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, "Come and see." And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword.
And there was given unto him a great sword. A great sword. So let's examine this second horse again. You can go ahead and take me out of that. You go ahead and take me out of that. Let's examine that second horse, or as the Revelations is calling it, the second seal, or the beast that rode the red horse.
Going back up
see
to
the scriptures.
What?
Say it again.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I didn't hear what you said.
Never mind. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah. I want you to read verse 4 again.
There went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword.
So the second seal that's open And this red horse that is shown here is showing you a particular people that has been described throughout the Bible as red. This nation is being called red, and power was given to this particular nation that's being called red, and a sword. Let's get 2 Thessalonians 2 and 9. Let's get 2 Thessalonians 2 and 9.
2 Thessalonians 2, verse 9. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with
Come
all
on.
powers and signs and lying wonders.
Even him, who? Him, this particular nation, the one that the Bible continuously and repeatedly calling the red nation of people, right? So you see they're being called the red dragon, the red serpent, and so on and so, the red horse, so on and so forth, right? Let's go to Genesis 25 and 30. From Genesis to Revelation, they're being called red. Let's get Genesis 25 and 30.
Genesis 25, verse 30. Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee.
Go up to verse 25.
Genesis 25, verse 25. And the first came out red, all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau.
And they called his name Esau. Now drop down to verse 30.
And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with the same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom.
Edom, because the same red pottage, meaning the same red pottage that looks similar to your redness, Esau. Go to Genesis 27 and 39. 27 and 39.
Genesis 27, verse 39.
This is the power. This is the power that was given to the red nation called the Edomites. Genesis 27 and starting at verse 39.
And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above.
Come on.
And by thy sword shalt thou live.
This is the power that you're going to have, the ability to go a conquering and to conquer everywhere that you go. By your sword is how you're going to do it. You're not going to do it through democracy. You're not going to do it through taking a vote. It's not going to be any majority rule policy. None of that. You're going to do it by your sword, Esau. This is the power that is given to you to do it by the sword. This is why you are in everyone's lands. Let's go back to Zechariah 6 and 2. Let's go back to Zechariah 6 and 2.
Okay. Zechariah 6, verse 2. In the first chariot were red horses, and in the second chariot, black horses.
Mm-hmm.
In the
first chariot was red horses, and in the second chariot, black horses. So the red horses is meant to describe a people or an empire and their bloody cruelties. And the second is black horses. When we look at the black horse, we look at it as famine or death. So that the chariot was with the black horses seemed to signify the desolation of the conquered countries. You have the red horse describing the people who would do the conquering. You have the black horse inside the red horse or inside the chariot, denoting that the conquered countries are in desolation or famine. Let's go back to Revelation 6. Revelation 6. I hope I'm not confusing anybody. I hope that you are following me along with what I'm saying. Revelation 6 and verse 4 again, please.
Revelation 6, verse 4. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. And when he had opened the third seal,
That's all I wanted. That was verse 4, right?
Yep, that was 4.
Now just get Maccabees, First Maccabees, the first chapter. First Maccabees, the first chapter. You have the conquering kings. That's the white horse, the red horse. You have the description of a people and the desolation that they caused and the power that was given to them to conquer. That's
1 and 1.
That's the red horse. 1 and 1. We're gonna read 1 through 4.
First Maccabees 1, verse 1. And it happened after that, Alexander, son of Philip the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim, had smitten Darius, king of Persia, king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead the first over Greece.
So this is the first Edomite or the people of that red nation who this is the first time they collectively came together and took power in the earth. This is the first time this has happened. Will not be the last, but this is the first time we see the red nation taking power in the earth. Let's see what happened and let's see how they did it. Verse 2.
And made many wars and won many strongholds and slew the kings of the earth.
Read it again.
And made many wars and won
slew
many
them with the power of the sword. Was given the power of the sword, where they made many wars and many strongholds and conquered many kings. Verse 3.
And I went through the ends of the earth and took spoils. And went through the ends of the earth and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him.
Come on.
Whereupon he was exalted and his heart was lifted up.
Read on.
And he gathered a mighty strong host and ruled over countries and nations and kings who became tributaries unto him.
So this is the beginning of Esau's reign first in the earth, his first reign. This happened right around 336 to 336 BC. This happened right around 336 BC. It was the first time Esau had collectively took world power and authority in the earth. This is the beginning of what's known as white power structure in the earth. It had never happened before. This is the first time we see it in history. All right. Let's go to Habakkuk 2 and 5. Habakkuk 2 and 5.
Habakkuk 2, verse 5. Ye also, because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied.
Read.
But gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people.
That's essentially saying the same thing that we just read in Zechariah. Essentially saying the same thing. When it said it heaped up dust and took the captivity, this is the same prophecy right here. It's telling you the essence of the man who would do this, the character of the man that would do this. He transgressed by wine, meaning he transgressed with lies. He's a proud man, arrogant man, and neither a keeper at home. He don't stay in his own lands. He in everyone's lands but his own. He enlarges his desire as hell. Wherever he goes, the son of perdition. Hell is wherever he goes. And death. And he can't be satisfied. And in his democracy, he heaped to himself a melting pot of nations. That's what he does. second horseman or second seal or that second spirit is describing Esau. Let's go to Revelation 6 and 5.
Revelation 6, verse 5. And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, "Come and see." And I beheld, and lo, a black horse. And he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard a voice.
Yeah, let's go. Let's read on to verse 6.
And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, "A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. And see thou hurt not the oil and the wine."
So let's go back to verse 5. Let's go back to verse 5.
And when he opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, come and see." And I beheld, and lo, a black horse. And he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand.
This is for judgment. These balances is for judgment. Every nation will receive a measure of judgment for what they have done to the children of Israel. Hold that. Let's get Isaiah 40 and 12. We'll come back to Revelation 6. Let's get Isaiah 40 and 12. 12 through 14.
Isaiah 40, 12 through 14. Who have measured the waters in the hollows of his hand, and meted out heaven with a span, and comprehended the dust of the earth in a measure, and weighed the mountains in scales, and the hills in a balance.
Come on.
Who have directed the spirit of the Most High, or being his counselor, have taught him.
Come on.
With whom took he counsel, and who instructed him, and taught him in the path of judgment, and taught him knowledge, and showed to him the way of understanding.
Nobody can do that for the Most High. He knows exactly what he done. He knows who did it, why they did it, why he caused them to do it, and why he's judging them for it. There's nobody like Hayah. He gave you the spirit to do it, and now he's going to judge you behind it. Every nation on earth had a hand in what they've done to the children of Israel. Every nation. That's why every nation on earth is cursed. Because he said, I'll bless them that bless you, and I'll curse them that curse you. No one has blessed the children of Israel. They all cursed us. So guess what? They all cursed. Let's go to verse 6 in Revelations. Revelation 6 and 6.
Revelation 6, verse 6. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, "A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. And see thou hurt not the oil and the wine."
So we went through this before. Let me see if anybody remember. Do anybody know why the scripture is saying, see thou hurt not the oil and the wine? Anybody remember us talking about that?
I don't know. Sound like it's going to be a celebration.
Do anybody remember that? When we went over through the Revelation, said, well, I'll be studying for nothing, huh? Y'all don't know, y'all don't remember that? See thou hurt not the oil and the wine. So although did someone say something?
Yeah, I was going to say the oil, would that be the anointed, and the wine, those under the covenant, because of what the wine represents?
Here, right here, this is not a representation right here. Here is speaking, this right here is speaking plainly. Because although there's a famine, the famine will be devastating in one part, it might not be as devastating in another part. So, for instance, you might have you may have a very bad famine in California, but in New York, it's okay. It's not as bad in New York. That's why it's saying, measure of barley for a penny. See thou hurt not the oil and the wine. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Let's go to Second Ezra. Let's hold that and let's go to Second Ezra, because maybe somebody don't understand what I'm saying. Second Ezra is the 16th chapter, because every part of the world won't be experiencing the same devastation on every level.
16 and what?
There'll be different tribulations going on at separate times. You might have problems with earthquakes in diverse places over here, but over here you have problems with your water. We're seeing that already. We're seeing remnants of it already. Like you have problems with water in Flint. You have problems with water in Mississippi, but you didn't have them issues in Georgia. You didn't have them issues in other parts of Michigan. You didn't have them problems in Nebraska, but you did have a drought in Nebraska that destroyed crop production. Hope everybody understands what I'm saying. There will be different famines and devastations are going on around globally around the earth, but everybody won't be suffering the same thing at the same time. Let's go to 2 Ezra 16, 18 through 22.
The 2 Ezra 16, 18 through 22. The beginnings of sorrow and great mourning, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of war, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment.
So they're sent as correction for the measure of judgment wherever you at. I want y'all to understand that. Scourges, these tribulations, these famines, these plagues, these anguishes are set as scourges for an amendment, for correction wherever you at. So everybody is not going to have the same type of affliction, or the judgment is not going to be on everyone the same, because there are measures to the judgment. Does everybody understand what I'm saying? It's okay. Y'all can come in and say, yeah, we got you, Bishop. No, I don't understand. No, you don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, I understand.
I understand.
No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. All praise. Scourges and amendment is for correction. But everybody ain't gonna get the same scourge. Everybody ain't gonna get the same measure of judgment. The judgment is met according to location, according to nation, according to country, according to what's going on in that part of the world. And however the Most High deemed the judgment needs to be met. Verse let's get verse 20 in that. We were still in that book. Let's get read on down to 22. 20 to 22.
But for all these things, they should not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the Spirit. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they think themselves to be in good case.
You read it again, because that's the point I was trying to make. Read it again.
Behold, victuals shall be so cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case.
So these victuals is food. The food is going to be so good and cheap upon the earth that they shall think themselves to be in a good case. Come on.
And even then shall evils grow upon earth.
Come on.
Famine and great confusion.
So if the victuals are good upon the earth, why is the Bible still saying that there's famine? That's why I said, hurt not the wine, hurt not the oil. It's talking about food. and food production. So in some places you will have food, in other places you will not.
For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy.
Did you see that? You see that? Some gonna die by famine, others gonna die by war. I got a little short article I want to read here before we go back to Revelations. It's called The Conflict, and that is from, let's see where it's from. It's from WFP.org, Global Hunger Crisis. The conflict, economic, climate extremes, and soaring fertilizer prices are combining to create a food crisis of unprecedented portions. As many as 828 million people are unsure of where their next meal is coming from. We have a choice: act now to save lives or invest in solutions that will secure food security, stability, and peace for all, or see people around the world facing rising hunger. The scale of the current global hunger malnutrition crisis is enormous, with an expected 345.2 million people projected to be food insecure, more than double the number in 2020. This constitutes a staggering rise of 200 million people compared to the pre-COVID-19 pandemic levels. More than 900,000 people worldwide are fighting to survive a famine-like condition. This is 10 times more than 5 years ago. Alarmingly rapid increase and immediate response is needed. The global community must not fail in its promise to end hunger and malnutrition by 2030. The WFP is facing multiple challenges. The number of actually hungry people continues to increase at a pace that funding is unlikely to match. While the cost of delivering food assistance is at an all-time high because food and fuel prices have increased, unmet needs heighten the risk of hunger and malnutrition. Unless the necessary resources are made available, lost lives and reversal of hard-earned development gains will be the price to pay. The causes of hunger and famine. But why is the world hungrier than ever? The systemic hunger crisis has been caused by a deadly combination of factors. Conflict is still the biggest drive of hunger, with 70% of the world's hungry people living in areas afflicted by war. We just read this in scripture. Afflicted by war and violence. Events in Ukraine are further proof of how conflict feeds hunger, forcing people out of their homes, wiping out their sources of income, and wrecking the country's economies. The climate crisis is one of the leading causes of the steep rise of global hunger. Climate shocks destroy lives, crops, and livelihoods, and undermine people's ability to feed themselves. Hunger will spiral out of control if the world fails to take immediate climate action. Global fertilizer prices have climbed even faster than food prices, which remain at a 10-year high themselves. The effects of the war in Ukraine, including higher natural gas prices, have further disrupted global fertilizer production and exports, reducing supplies, rising prices, and threatening to reduce harvest. High fertilizer prices could turn current food affordability crisis into a food availability crisis, with production of maize, rice, soybean, wheat, and all falling in 2022, the costs are also at an all-time high. Monthly operating costs are US 73.6 million above their 2019 average, a staggering 44% rise. The extra now spent on operating costs would have previously fed 4 million for a month in countries including Nigeria, South Sudan, Yemen. The WFP is already faced with hard decisions, including cutting rations to be available to reach more people. This is a tantamount to taking from the hungry to feed the starving. Hunger hotspots from the Central American dry corridor and Haiti through the Sahel. I don't know what that is. Sahel, Central African Republic, South Sudan, and then eastwards to the Horn of Africa, Syria, Yemen, and all the way to Afghanistan. Conflict and climate shocks, shocks are driving millions of people to the brink of starvation. Last year, the world rallied extraordinarily resources, a record-breaking US 14 billion for WFP alone to tackle the unprecedented global food crisis in countries like Somalia, which has been teetering on the brink of famine. The international community came together and managed to pull people back. But it is not sufficient to only keep people alive. We need to go further. And this can only be achieved by addressing the underlying causes of hunger. Guess what, family? Guess what? It won't never be addressed. Famine is already here. It's not coming. It's here in different parts of the world. We are reading articles every day that's coming out. I was talking about people are starving around the world. Well, it's just that there's people starving in America. We just don't know it. And you probably wonder, how can people be starving in America? There's hungry people in America. Trust me. There's hungry people in America. Let's get back to the scripture. This is a longer article. I'm not going to read all of it. You can read it when you get a chance. If you want to, it's the WFP.org. Hunger in America. Hunger around the world. That's the name of the article. All right, let's go. Let's get back to Revelation 6. Where was we at? Are you there? D, are you there?
Yeah.
I'm just talking on mute. Revelation 6 and 6.
Yeah, Revelation 6 and 6.
Revelation 6, verse 6. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, measure of
No,
wheat
let's go back to 5. Revelation 6 and 5.
Revelation 6 and 5. And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse. And he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. And see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. And when he
So
opened,
judgment is coming. Famine is used as judgment, as a scourge, or as a scourge, or as a punishment. Let's go to Job 5. Let's go to Job. The whole Revelations. Let's go to Job 5, 20 through 22.
Job 5, 20 through 22. In famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword. Thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth.
That's for you, Israel. You're gonna laugh. When you're prepared, Israel. You're gonna laugh at the famine. You're gonna laugh at the war. You're gonna laugh at the destruction. Let's go back to Revelation 6.
Revelation 6 and 7.
6 and 6.
Back to
Right?
6. No, we finished 6. You want to read
Oh,
it
we
again?
finished 6? All right, let's go to 7.
And when he had opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth beast say, come and see. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse. And his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. And power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth.
So let's read verse 8 again.
Revelation 6 and 8. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse. And his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him.
And hell followed
Given
with him.
them over the fourth part of the earth to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth.
So can we share the screen and pull up the image that I have? Officer Noah, pull up the image. Share the screen. Sometimes we got a little delay too when we share the screen, so y'all bear with us. It's still trying to share, but it's not up yet. Yeah, it's running very, very slow. I need you all to visually see this. That's why I want to pull up the map. Okay, come out of that. Come out of that. Stop your screen share and log off altogether. There we go. There we go. It came. Oh man, it came. It came up too soon as you stopped sharing it. It came up soon as you stopped sharing it, son. There we go. All praises. All praises. Now, if everyone can see the screen, right there. This is the Bible. When we talk in terms of the scripture, the three parts of the earth that was known as where the Hamites lived, the Shemites lived, and the Japhites lived. So this is one to the south, and to the southeast, and to the northeast, were the three parts of the earth. This is the three parts of the three known parts of the earth, right? Let's go to the next slide. This is what's known. This is the known world. As a matter of fact, they call that the first world. So I wanted to get a picture of this because this was virtually empty. This was empty for some time until the children of Israel and other nations settled this area in Europe. But this is not the fourth part of the earth. Now, Christianity teaches that this is the fourth part of the earth, but we need to read the scripture again to get an understanding. This is not the fourth part of the earth. Let's see what the Bible actually says. Let's get verse 8 again. 6 and 8.
Revelation 6 and 8. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him,
Come on.
and power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth.
And power was given over the pale horse. The power was given to the pale horse to be over the fourth part of the earth. We just seen what the known parts of the earth were. It's just that this space had not been empty yet, filled yet, because it wasn't peoples in there. But the pale horse comes from this part of the world right here that we're looking at. The pale horse comes from this part of the world. Let's get the next slide and see what the fourth part is. Boom. This is an old map here, or a replica of an old map. The Western Hemisphere is the fourth part of the earth. You have your three parts on the east and the Eastern Hemisphere. The West Coast, coming from the West Coast, was Europe, putting us in slavery and captivity. This is the pale horse that put us in captivity from places like Spain and Britain and France and Portugal, the Portuguese, that came and took over the fourth part of the earth, put the Israelites that were already in the Western Hemisphere, put them into captivity, and brought those of us from the Eastern Hemisphere over here to the fourth part of the earth and put us in captivity. So the fourth part of the earth, according to Christianity, is Europe. That's not true. The fourth part of the earth is the Western Hemisphere. The pale horse is coming from Europe, but was given power over the Western Hemisphere to put us in captivity. That power was given to them. All right, let's read it one more time. Revelation 6 and 8. We're almost done here.
Revelation 6 and 8. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. And power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth to kill with the sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth.
And with the beast of the earth. Let's get Jeremiah 15 and 2.
Jeremiah 15, verse 2. And it shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth? Then thou shalt tell them, thus saith the Most High, such as are for death to death, and such as are for the sword to the sword.
Come on.
And such as are for the famine to the famine.
Come on.
And such as are for the captivity to the captivity.
So you have different judgments. You have different judgments just playing out throughout these different what the Bible was calling horsemen. Judgment is given to them in order for them to bring about different scourges upon the earth. All right, let's get Deuteronomy. This will be the last precept. Let's get Deuteronomy 4 and 29.
Deuteronomy 4, verse 29.
Yeah, we're going to read 29 through 39. Or do you want me to read it? Is your voice parched? Are you
Now,
parched? Deuteronomy 4:29.
Deuteronomy 4:29 through 39. But if from thence thou shalt seek the Most High Yah, thou shalt find him, if thou seek him with all thy heart and with all thy soul. And when thou art in tribulation, and all these things are come upon thee,
All of
even,
these different scourges, judgments, and all of these things come upon you, famines and pestilence come upon you. Read on.
even in the latter days,
Come
if,
on.
if thou turn to the Most High Yah, and shalt be obedient unto his voice,
Read on.
for the Most High Yah is a merciful power.
Mm-hmm.
He will not forsake thee,
Come
neither
on.
to destroy thee,
Come
nor
on.
forget the covenant of thy fathers, which he.
Hallelujah. Read on. Verse 32.
For ask now of the days that are past,
Mm-hmm.
or before thee, since the day that Yah created man upon the earth, and
Mm-hmm.
ask from one side of heaven unto the other.
Come on.
There hath been any such thing as this great thing is, or hath been heard like it. Did ever people hear the voice of Yah speaking out of the midst of the fire, as thou hast heard and lived?
And live. Have anybody heard the Most High Yah speaking out of heaven? Our forefathers did. Our forebears did. We heard him speak out of the clouds. We heard him speak out of fire. We heard him come down out of the Shekinah glory of the Most High. We heard him. The scripture, he asked the question, the prophet asked the question, has anybody ever, has this ever happened? No. Read on.
Or have Yah essayed to go and take him a nation from the midst of another nation by
Mm-hmm.
by signs and by wonders and by wars and by a mighty hand, by a stretched out arm and by great terrors, according to
Come on.
all the Most High Yah did for you in Egypt before your eyes.
Uh-huh.
Unto thee it was shown that thou mightest know that the Most High, he is a power. There is none else beside him.
Read on.
Out of heaven he made thee to hear his voice, that he might instruct thee. And upon earth he showed thee his great fire. And
Come
thou
on.
heard his word out of the midst of the fire.
Mm-hmm.
And love thy father, therefore he chose their seed after them, and brought thee out of his sight with his mighty power out of Egypt,
Come on.
to drive out nations from before thee, greater and mightier than thou art, to bring thee in, to give thee their land for an inheritance, as it is this day.
Come on.
Know therefore this day, and consider it in thine heart, that the Most High, he is the power, in heaven above and upon the earth beneath. There is none else.
There's nobody like our power. None else like our power. And he have loved us. And he's coming to save us from our captivity by the use of scourges and judgments. All praises to the Most High. We're going to leave it right there. So I pray that you have been edified. And if you can stop sharing the screen, I pray that you've been edified. Your understanding been lifted as to the Four Horsemen and their connection to prophecy. And we'll open up the floor for any questions, comments, or statements.